Okay guys, Revo PT back with another video. We got Brian and Candace today going to show us a couple ways to treat glute max and glute med, specifically for folks having, say, low back pain, maybe hip pain, say you're in the saddle on the bike too much, or you're just sitting at your desk too much. So, Candace, why don't you show us the elevated pigeon on the box there. So Candace is going to get up into hip flexion. Obviously, she's lifted her leg up and she's externally rotated, ideally so her shin is flat on the table. So this can be your bed, this can be your desk, depending on the height. And you'll notice as Candace leans forward into trunk flexion, she's going to get a lot of tension at the hip. If you can imagine that outside of your butt stretch, that's what's going on. So not everyone is going to be able to lean forward as far as Candace does. You may want to fine-tune that trunk position. We want the intensity to be low, and ideally we want the duration to be long. So we're thinking 2 to 5 minutes static holds. Shouldn't be a really intense stretch. Okay, so another way that we can loosen up that musculature around the hip is with the lacrosse ball. So Brian's going to show us where we want that to be. So glute max is more on the back side of the hip and pelvis, and then glute med is a little bit more laterally aligned. So Candace is going to kind of freestyle this. She's going to pin that ball up against the wall, right? So maybe a little bit more glute max, and you've got a couple choices. Choice one is just pin yourself up against that ball and add a little bit of rotation with your trunk. That's a great way to treat this. Option two is pin that ball up against one spot that feels really tender, and then Candace is going to flex her left knee and rotate her femur. Ouch. So, again, if you've been at the desk, been in the saddle too much and you need to loosen up those hip, here are two really quick fixes for you: glute med and glute max release.